Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 888. It's the triple Ocho of Geeks in Space. I am Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am joined today in pretend low Earth orbit by Rob Roseboom.
Hi.
And Chris DeBona.
Hello as well.
It's the triple Ocho, guys. We made it.
Yeah, I was hoping you wouldn't say that again.
You didn't like it?
Okay.
You don't like
So it's like the most lucky of podcasts for our East Asian.
Is
viewers.
8 lucky?
Yeah, 8's like one of the super lucky numbers. It's why people price things like in housing markets where Chinese folks buy things with 8s, and they try to stay away from cemeteries and power lines.
I thought 7s were lucky. So 7s are
No,
Western
no,
lucky and 8s are Eastern lucky?
I think there's a lot of like unlucky numbers like 4 and like 14 and
It's like the difference in dragons, you know?
yeah. Like what's the difference in dragons?
Yeah, now I'm confused.
Green versus
You don't know the difference between Chinese
like
dragons
the
and
lizard
Western
dragons, the lizard dragons versus like the medieval castle dragons.
Castle, yeah, sure. I guess.
Like Smog.
Yeah. Exactly
Wait,
that.
They're just more Komodo-y.
Well, the Chinese ones are like
dragons
lizards.
are much more spiritual.
Ah, okay.
And
like
you know,
dragon mother.
Generally don't have wings.
They're like
They
snakes.
just fly through powers.
Oh.
And Western dragons are generally evil. Chinese dragons are often beneficial. Tons of difference.
Do they both hoard
They're
gold?
still dragons. No.
Oh, interesting. What did Chinese dragons hoard? Like fantastic
just fly around. They're not tied to worldly possessions.
Oh well, you know, who would be if you're a dragon, you know?
I'm in my hobbit hole today, so maybe we should find some of our dwarven friends and go hunt some dragon. Or I guess we.
Well, it's that sort of thing that caused the Western dragons to be so hostile. Everyone was hunting them and being mean.
You would just leave them alone. You think Smog would have leveled the lake town if they hadn't tried to steal his gold? No, he just wants to chill. You know,
all he wanted to do is hang out with his gold. Why are you coming down? Why are you kink shaming Smog?
You know, I'm with him. All I want to do is hang out in my house with my toys.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's kind of what I've been doing for the last 10 years. I'm smogging it, baby.
Yeah.
No one's shown up to try to steal stuff.
Oh yeah, they're always showing up, but
or I guess we call them little people if you're talking about real people. So
I mean, like neighbor kids. They want to sell Girl Scout cookies and stuff.
Oh yeah. In return for your stuff.
Yeah, they want me to give them stuff, and then I just get cookies. Ugh.
Yep.
Jerk.
I don't like that. Chris, you wanted to revisit the Chinese paraglider story that we talked about. I know our listener is desperate for the update.
Well, we want to be responsible journalists.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
They've determined. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. They've determined that the video is genuine, but it has AI enhanced parts, like when he does the big pan away,
right,
while he's up in the air. So I also suspect that he added some icicle effects during the thing, because that's just not how frost forms. You know,
it looked a little weird,
but you know, that's sort of all I wanted to say about that.
So our follow up is that there might be fraud in the Chinese paraglider story. I'm not comfortable with there being untruths on the internet, Chris.
Well, I mean, you are a truth seeker.
I am, and I don't understand why the internet would lie to me.
To be clear, what's untrue is the pan away shot,
right,
and perhaps an icicle on his face.
Yes,
but if you're going to doctor some video, then I mean, what do you believe anymore? I'm beginning to believe that those people didn't have tattoos on their knuckles indicating their involvement with gangs.
Are you telling me talk show hosts don't have flawless skin? Is there a makeup department involved? How far does this go?
This is a bad
Have we ever seen an authentic person on television?
I think this is Big Avon.
Chris, are you real?
I'm not going to confirm or deny.
Are you actually in the space station cupola?
Yes.
I believe you. Because I'm actually in Bag End.
Mm-hmm. And Rob is in a station. right?
No, I'm just in my office. This
Oh,
is
damn it.
just a background.
That's
We're
just a
trying to-
blue
We're
screen.
trying out lying.
I could see where you'd be confused.
Yep.
I mean, it does look real,
Yep.
especially
Yep.
the part of my beard that disappears with my microphone.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh, look, I'm in Asgard now.
Yeah. And you're in Asgard now? Oh wait,
Yep.
I should mute my background so
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can be clever, like we're being.
See, I have a macro on my Stream Deck, so I can just press that button and get a random one whenever I need to. Whenever the spirit moves me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's scary. Are you okay? Stay safe.
Okay.
He's looking for the Chinese paraglider.
Yeah.
I thought you were looking for a Chinese dragon to help you find the Chinese paraglider.
Here, there's that rhino from a year or so ago.
It's like a trip through green screen past.
Yeah, right.
So the next one that we have on the list is I read the you got a whopper dog. Is a peeing attack robot dog?
Wait, what?
Well, I don't know if it's an attack dog.
I thought it said an attack dog in the article. I just tried to click on the screen for the podcast. That link didn't work, guys.
Okay, peeing attack dog from Temu.
Yep.
Yeah, I think if we're going to be concerned about proper journalism now, I think it's not really an attack dog.
Yeah, Chris, get that picture up. Yeah, that's our screenshot for the day.
See, look, I don't know what it's attacking other than decency right there. I think it's just attacking decency.
It's doing something to the table that is not appropriate.
Yeah.
But it pees?
It's dirty dancing with it.
Storytelling, pretend urinating robot attack dog.
Yeah, it's $50.
Oh, wow.
$50? That's a great price for a weird robot thing.
I mean, with tariffs, that's going to be $7,000.
Do you want me to pause this if I can? And
I just took a random picture. It doesn't matter.
Good, because I'm annoyed by that.
It's freaking
so this guy bought one to see the quality of it, and he has a little story about his experience with the Temu peeing robot dog.
Did they market it as peeing? Is that a feature?
Yes, it's a feature. One of the things listed on it that it pees.
I just assumed that it leaked.
Nope, it pees.
All right, cool. Do you get to fill it up like its chamber with like the liquid of your choice?
I imagine that is true. I don't imagine it's a one-shot pee. You probably fill it back up. And at that point, you could fill it with whatever you want. Whether or not it's good for the robot dog, that's another question.
I mean,
I'm sure you could fill it with juice, and it could just pee orange juice into your mouth every morning if that's what you wish.
Come here, vodka. You name him vodka, and he just brings it to you. Come here, vodka, and then he pisses in your mouth.
You're naming the robot dog Ivanka?
No, vodka. And then, so whenever you're having a bad day, you could just be like, come here, vodka, and then it pees in your mouth, but it's vodka.
Yeah, so there's like a whole series of, they call them MOC.
They're definitely Boston Dynamics.
Yeah, totally. I'm sure this is a Boston Dynamics dog.
It does kind of look like it.
Look, it's in space with us.
Oh.
Toy kid birthday gift ornament.
Ornament?
Yeah.
Does it move?
Also, I like the tag alpha dog.
That's not a robot though. That's just a model.
That's weird.
It's decorative.
Is it like two inches tall? I mean, they have power robot dogs. Here's a power robot dog. It's like a chunkier.
Yeah, he's thick. He's a thick boy.
He's a thick boy.
Yeah.
But it's got like Lego.
Yeah, you just keep that in your trunk, and if you get in the ditch, you hook that up to your car, and it just drags your car out of the ditch.
I'm sure it would be that strong. Yeah.
Right, because no man could pick a car up out of a ditch.
Yeah, let's go.
Go ahead, Rob. You're not allowed to lift cars out of ditches anymore.
I'm not.
No?
It's off the list of things I can do now.
Anymore.
Or holes.
Yeah.
Potholes, I can't pick them out of a pothole either.
Nope, never. We got a story about
a lot of crappy robot dogs on AliExpress. That's kind of what I'm learning today. So
this is one of those things that if I had infinite monies, I would probably just buy like a bunch of robot dogs and then just have a couple of days.
You waste,
Yeah, for sure. Although I imagine, I bet if we YouTubed, there's probably somebody who's bought the top 10 robot dogs off of Temu and is rating them. and they probably all suck, and probably only 2 of them pee.
Well, here's the handshake mechanical dog.
Mhm.
Color A3 batteries.
Well, it's AI,
That's
so
AAA
it's
batteries.
fine.
The problem is it only knows one trick, so you have to.
It's the dog that
Pee.
the guy bought.
Pee.
It looks like it, yeah.
Pee.
What?
Pee. It's its only trick. Pee. Pee, Ubu, pee.
No, it's handshake. Otherwise, if you stop handshake, it just follows you everywhere.
It gets sad and pees.
That's a no stay.
It doesn't stay. Yeah.
Our dog.
Stupid one trick. I will say,
Yeah.
I know it's just e-waste garbage, but it is kind of amazing. Like the $100 toy in 2025. I was looking at some video, which was like a catalog of like rich person things from like 1980.
Oh, like a Hammer Schlemmer catalog? kind of
Something
thing?
like that. And they had like a 27-inch or a 30-inch TV, but like a Trinitron Sony, but in like a cabinet, like a wall-sized piece of furniture with a 32-inch TV. And it was like a $10,000 TV in $1980.
I mean,
and
that's a
yeah,
that's
just things like, but on the same page, they had like a robot, like the 80s robot butler thing, which would be garbage. And it was like thousands of dollars, and that it wouldn't do anything useful. I'm not saying
learning robots that Heathkit would ship, the Hero One.
Yeah.
And I coveted those,
Oh
Yeah. No matter how hard I tried, I can never get the robot butler to pee anywhere.
Never.
Yeah.
And that's predominantly why I bought it.
Right. I asked Jeeves to pee, and it never would.
Who doesn't want this?
I do want
You know?
that. I do want that. I bet you could get that on eBay. So $4,000 or $5,000 on back in the day. What's that robot go for on eBay in 2025, Chris? Let's answer the question that nobody has asked.
I think people are asking.
I'm asking.
Yeah, we asked your people.
Here's a full Hero Junior robot. Here we go. Actually selling it for buy it now of $2,500.
Oh, it's a bargain. You put inflation in there, and that's so much cheaper.
Well, I mean, it sold for this exact price in 1980s, right?
Chris, why isn't it in your shopping cart already?
Because I have enough projects.
Yeah, right.
Thank you very much. And yeah.
Besides rating 10 peeing robot dogs for your YouTube content.
It turns out I'm not that kind of YouTuber.
Nope.
Or any kind of YouTuber, really.
No, not really.
Well, it's hard to break into the peeing dog YouTube, click.
Right.
Sure.
All right.
Everyone's got a niche, right?
Yeah. Greetings, P-fluencers. All right, the next one.
I'm gonna try out the 10 top Temu, and like the thumbnail, like big
right,
eyes.
with the mouth open. Yeah.
The full Mr. Beast review.
We should like get in the habit of actively screenshotting, like making our YouTube open mouth faces. It wouldn't be gross at all.
I don't think I'm that kind of YouTuber.
I don't either.
Or Twitch streamer.
Nope. But what you don't have is a Bobcat in your house. We got a story about a Bobcat that got into somebody's house, which to me is the real story. But then the less interesting part is that they try to shoot it. They're poking it with a laser pointer, like trying to see if they chase it.
Is this like a domesticated?
No. This is Colorado. This Bobcat got in this lady's house. She didn't know what to do. They called the cops.
Yeah.
The cops are like, "You got a cat in your house? Just grab it." She's like, "No, it's a Bobcat. It's not a cat." They didn't believe her. They came, found, sure enough, it's a Bobcat. And their big plan was to use the laser pointer on their sidearm to try to get the cat to follow it and go out of the house. But presented with 4 grown adults while it is in a corner, the Bobcat didn't move. It turned out the Bobcat was unimpressed by the laser pointer.
There's a video of it that I'm not going to click on.
The video is kind of not that great. The story, like
here, this also is this from a body camera? Yeah, it's from a body camera. I'm gonna see if he chases the laser,
and that's basically it.
Yeah.
I would like to see the better camera angles, because I think the real story there would be, what does that cop look like? Because I think that would probably be a lot funnier. Because if I went into a random house and was asked to deal with a bobcat in it, I would be freaking out.
Well, maybe being a police officer is not for you.
For many reasons.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, you guys remember the lots of raccoon stories from last year or whatever? Like, is this like the ongoing, when wildlife, maybe she was feeding the bobcat out the back of her house and she didn't want to tell anybody. The bobcat came to see her as a friend in a place of solace. And then she regretted that because bobcats do not belong indoors.
Nope.
They kind of smell, they mark their territory, and they'll cut you. So, yeah.
And aren't bobcats like the same as cougars or something? There's like 9 different cats that we just use the same name for.
No.
I thought there was like a bunch of North American cats that all have the same name.
You're thinking of puma and cougar and mountain lion.
Okay, there you go. That's what I'm thinking.
Cougar, mountain lion, jaguar?
That's different. No, jaguar's different.
They're different? Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're cars that Rob is not allowed to pick up.
Bobcat is about 180 pounds lighter than your average cougar.
Yeah.
So
they're not domestic animals, though.
No.
It's a little bit bigger than your biggest cat you have at your house.
Yeah. We used to go to this.
My biggest cat is 15 pounds.
When the kids were small.
Yep, a huge bobcat's like 20, 25 pounds.
All right.
But they always had the bobcats with like one leg missing, that they found on the road and all the rest. It was kind of a great zoo, And so my daughter was super into cats as a kid. So she'd be like, okay, let's go visit this bobcat and that bobcat. Yeah.
I thought that bobcats were bigger than that.
No.
Well, then this guy was a wimp.
You know what it is? We kept on talking about Big Bob, and so you're just like Big Bobcat.
Oh yeah.
We neuralistically programmed you, Rob.
That could be. When any of my other trigger words go off, I'll make sure to execute my instructions properly. Then.
Well, you should just route it through an AI.
I could, but I would be afraid that it would be Builder.AI.
This story is magnificent.
Yeah, it is.
I love this story. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Take it.
Here we go. So one of the running jokes in computers is AI is actually Indians, and it turns out in this case it was really true. They were like, hey, we've got this cool tool to help you build software and and it turns out it's just a bunch of Indian dudes. So. And gals. Yeah. Your app's made to order. So they were literally just an app shop, and they're like, but it's AI,
And they probably
turns out it was what they say 700 programmers on the payroll.
That's disturbing.
Well, I mean, it's India,
700 people is a lot, although they probably were using less carbon emissions than real AI.
It's so funny. So can I tell you something that I was talking to Christine, or who's my spouse, for those of you, 2 of you who are listening, I don't know that. And we were talking about the impact of AI on junior programmers, outsourced programmers. I'm sort of the opinion that the AI's programmers are good enough that I think it's really going to hit outsourced programming shops harder than anyone else, because it's so hard to run a globally distributed team, right?
Yeah.
And then you add on layers of contractors, and India is like 12 time zones away, man. It's really tough to sort of be on when they are. And
we all have done or know people who regularly have to manage people, like 8 time zones away. That's a nightmare.
It is. It's very difficult to do. And so you end up having very AI programmer conversations with folks. You're like, hey, here's the specification. Here's what we need. Here are the inputs and outputs and signals and how it should be run operationally. And it's like, if you're just doing the same thing with GPT-4, how's that going to hit Tata and the other big Indian consultancies? I can tell you how. It's gonna F them.
What it's gonna do is because there's like the good teams. You get a good team.
There's plenty of, and this is not coming down on the quality of programmers.
No,
it's just really hard to run people remote.
Yeah, like the good teams are going to be fine. it's the people in the middle and in the bottom.
Yeah.
For me, the thing is that weirds man is like it's going to be really hard. Like everybody has hired junior programmers, like real green, don't know what they're doing, and like they went to maybe a coding academy or even like a computer science type curriculum, but that transition there, because the people that come out of those places, some of them are like the kind of people who like this is their life, this is their love, this is what they do, and other people are just like, I am here for a paycheck, and they don't necessarily know like the real world, and those people need like a lot of hand holding, and they're going to get good, but not all of them are going to get good. But the ones that like I'm afraid that what AI is going to do is it's going to take away a lot of folks' opportunity to get good.
Yeah, I mean, what this means for junior programmers, in environments where you're mostly doing outsourced labor. Like, I would not want to graduate from a second-tier Indian university with a programming degree today. Because where are you going to go?
But in all fairness, I'm not sure that I want to graduate from any degree anywhere right now.
Oh, I think it's a tough time for jobs, period. In this economy, but
yeah, because with a couple extra $100,000 in debt and in 40% of the job market being eaten by AI in the next 4 to 8 years. I mean,
yeah,
cool. Everything's awesome. Everything's fine. The last one that we have on the list is cocaine flies. But I couldn't read this one because it was blocked, or one of the articles that I couldn't read because it was subscription.
Was this you, Roseman?
Yeah, they in the long tradition of cocaine animals, now we have cocaine fruit flies. At first, not as terrifying as a cocaine bear, but they got numbers.
But more annoying.
Just all your fruit gone in a day. No, they've made cocaine addicted fruit flies because we can, because science.
Red button.
Yeah. Supposedly they're doing it to try to find better ways to end addiction and treat addiction. I'm not sure if they're doing like interventions in the fruit fly's home life, putting them in counseling with their kids, making amends, doing 12-step programs. I'm not exactly sure what they're doing with them. But
Betty Ford Clinic for little flies.
Yeah.
Even when previously produced cocaine, Rosenfluth's team noted that the insects routinely opted for pure sugar water over sugar water laced with cocaine. He theorized the reason may reside in the fly's sense of taste that is found on their legs. Okay.
Can't taste that cocaine. Like, okay, so I'm not a cocaine person, but you know how when you put cocaine, you see in movies, they put cocaine on their gums? Maybe flies can put it on their feet.
Here's the thing.
But they do that to test if it's real cocaine, because it'll make your gums numb.
I'm all for scientific research. But there's a point where it's like, I think you guys are just effing with these poor flies. After confirming that cocaine activates a fly's bitter tasting sense receptors, Rosenthal and Filia, pronunciation, switched off those nerves. Once deactivated, there was little to stop the flies from developing a cocaine habit. I'm like, what's the point of this research exactly?
You say that now, but you would be surprised how fast those cocaine flies can write a script now. And the ideas they get are fantastic. Just full of great ideas.
But the scientists gave their cocaine to the flies. The scientists are mad. Like, now they have no cocaine.
We can really start to understand the mechanisms of cocaine choice. And the more you understand about the mechanism, so if it tastes bad, people are less likely to do it, I guess, is what he's.
So the idea, their solution is that bitter apple thing you can get for your couch so the cats don't chew on it.
Yeah, wolf urine. If you
just introduce introduce bitter apple flavor into all the cocaine, and eventually you won't want to do it.
Yeah, maybe crystal meth can be covered in wolf urine. Or bobcat scat, So
Bob's cat
from its chemical gland on its butt, So what media have we been watching?
Ah! I
I watched
watched.
Novacaine last night.
Oh, that's a fun one.
It was fun.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
I like Quaid, man. That guy, he's fun.
That was a very serviceable movie. Have you seen it yet, Roseman?
What movie?
Novacaine.
Oh no.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's a bit slapsticky, but it's fun.
Parts that are like, I got up and I went to Christina. And I was like, "Oh my god, this just happened." And she's like, "No," and I was like, "Yeah," So
I watched one of the most screwed up movies I've ever seen. It's called A Magical Evening with Beverly Luff Linn.
Okay.
And the cast of this movie is kind of off the hook. It's got Aubrey Plaza in it, who's, for me anyway, for my movie going dollar, she's one of those that I'll see anything she's in. And she's kind of one of the leads. But it's also got just like a ton of like minor actors you've seen all over the place. Maria Bamford is in it, but it is the weirdest thing that I have seen in a long time. It's kind of this dumb story about a lady who's like, she's leaving her husband and she wants to go see Beverly Luff Linn, who they don't really explain for the most of the movie who this person is, but everybody wants to see it. And it's like a performer or something. And but the movie, the tone of this movie, everybody is wearing the weirdest costumes you've ever seen. Everybody's wearing bad wigs. Like everybody's like sometimes partially androgynous or like weird gender flip fashion. But the tone, the dialogue, like you should watch 2 minutes of it just to see, because it's not a good movie. But the fact that somebody made this movie is kind of amazing. It's got Jermaine Clement in it. It's got Clem Fandango. Matt Berry's in it. Like,
yes, I can hear you, Clem Fandango.
Yes, I can hear you, Clem Fandango. It's maybe even just watch the trailer. It's just one of those things that like you don't often see a movie that has tone like this. And it's not a good movie, but somebody was committed to a world and really nailed it.
Cool.
What else did I see? I watched a couple of other weird odds and ends lately, but that was the doozy.
I got caught up with The Last of Us finally.
Oh yeah,
I've been watching that. It's not terrible.
No, it's okay.
First season was so much better.
First season was awesome.
Yep.
Second season, I like Joel.
Yeah, I like Joel. That's kind of the problem there.
I mean, I'm a huge Shane Gillis fan, so.
Is Shane in that? Oh, right. It's not.
I'm almost done with catching up with Invincible, but I have to save that for when my kids. You can press your button if you still got that button, Chris, since we were messing around with.
Oh yeah. Right.
No,
let's find out.
My kids were watching Invincible, so I have to wait and watch episodes when they want to watch. But I'm almost done with that one now. And there's a new Rick and Morty out too, but I haven't seen it.
I saw that. I haven't watched it yet either.
I haven't heard of the show.
The season before was not really good.
I also watched Citizen Kane again, as you do. And I also watched one called Bit, which is a vampire horror comedy thing. But lots of feminism, lots of trans stuff.
So here's a conference. I don't like Citizen Kane.
What?
I don't. I hate that movie. I think it's
you don't have to
hugely overrated. To tell you the truth, if people talk about it being the greatest American movie ever made, I kind of don't like it.
I think it's.
I actually really liked it, but
technically remarkable.
Well, that's the thing.
Like all of his, stuff.
If you look at a lot of those old movies, though, I don't think Citizen Kane is particularly better than any of those. Something like, I'm trying to think.
The Mutiny.
Casablanca.
Yeah.
Mutiny on the Bounty was another one.
I was thinking
North by Northwest. I know that isn't quite as old.
That's like 10 years later.
Captain Queeg.
Yep. It's not quite as old.
Yeah.
Right. But
The Kane Mutiny is one of my favorite movies.
I guess
That's a good one
So
too.
good, man.
I guess the thing is, it's 1941, and that's the measure. Like, it's the before and after threshold. It's like a Star Wars level. Like, they
Event.
did so many different things better than had generally been done before.
I see. What I'm willing to give it is a place like The Watchmen, which I really loved at the time, and still have very fond memories of. But if you go now, there are a lot of graphic stories, graphic novels that are better stories than The Watchmen.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
There just are.
Yeah.
It just that happened to be one of the first very popular ones that highlighted how you could tell a good story, a moving story that wasn't comic booky, right?
Totally.
So I'm willing to give Citizen Kane that, but by any other measure, I just don't think it's a great movie.
I don't know. I hadn't watched it in probably 10, 15 years. And I gave it an honest watch and was really impressed. I enjoyed it probably more than I had the last time I had seen it.
It was a sled, dude.
Yeah, it was totally a sled.
Yeah.
I remembered it as
spoiler alert.
I remembered it as being slower paced, but I actually felt like the pacing was pretty solid. For maybe I was more into it today or this time. I see what you're saying, and I generally have.
So yeah, and I don't think it's a bad movie.
No.
It's just it's always on the Mount Rushmore. People talk about how fantastic it is, and I don't know. I don't really.
For me, there's maybe, there's like 20 movies that are like, these are the connect the dots movies where film changed. And like, you got your 2001, you got your Star Wars, you got your Jurassic Park, like something about each of those movies fundamentally changed filmmaking. And I guess that Citizen Kane is kind of like the cinematography of that, like all the little pieces of there, they just got all of it right. It's just one of those connect the dots movies for me. But I'm with you generally. I don't watch a lot of movies prior to, like, even most movies from the 70s. Like I like the 80s is where I start finding the pacing of movies. It's like I'm not gonna get bored by this for the most part.
Right.
Because I'm lame. I was just gonna say though, Bit.
I was gonna say you're lame.
I am lame. Bit was not that good. I was hoping for a little bit more. It's trying to be Joss Whedon dialogue, vampire stuff. Like, we're the cool vampires. And
which one was this?
Bit. Like vampires, you got bit, and they turn you into vampires. And bit. And like it's kind of a tries too hard. Like, every moment they're trying to prove to you that the girls are cool, like the vampires are cool. I was disappointed in it.
Try hard Buffy replacement kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like a tries too hard Buffy.
It's no Once Bitten.
I don't know if I've seen Once Bitten.
Oh my!
Is that the one with can't think of that.
Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey.
Oh my God, I've never seen this.
It's terrible.
Should I watch it, or is it too terrible to
bother? No.
Oh no, you would enjoy it.
Yeah,
of course you would, but no human should ever watch this.
Well, you would enjoy it in the same way you enjoy watching all those terrible.
Yeah,
it's appalling. It's one of those movies that's sort of burned into my head, because we had so many copies of it at the video store when I was.
Yes,
it's so bad though. I mean, like, and Lauren Hutton's a fine actress, but boy, this was a bad movie. And it wasn't good bad, because like what was it, Vampire 2000, the one with Johnny Lee Miller. Miller vampire movie. Dracula 2000 is,
I've seen that,
the funniest bad Dracula movie that's ever been done.
Yeah, I don't know if it quite reached the potential of Jason 10.
No. What could?
I hear you though. It's in that same line, but that is the epitome of terrible.
The Zenith.
This week's How Did This Get
9 in it, Yeah.
this week's How Did This Get Made movie was a 1989 Sinbad movie starring Lou Ferrigno. And it was a rough one.
So do you happen to remember the name of it? Was it Sinbad the Sailor?
Sinbad of the Seven Seas.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, this just looks like one of those.
It's a canon movie.
Italian, canon movies.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like everything is 80 yard. And I don't know. I watched it for the How Did This Get Made, and it's funny for that.
Dracula Dead and Loving It was not good.
No, that's a bad one.
Oof.
No.
Oof. Like we'd push that out of our.
Yeah. Leslie Nielsen, you were so great. He did the Naked Guns, and then after that did like 30 more.
And Airplane back in the day.
For sure.
So.
Leslie Nielsen. I mean, not War of the Worlds. Forbidden Planet.
Yeah.
So many good movies. And then he shocked us all with his Airplane and Naked Gun performances.
His Abrams Zucker collabs.
Zucker. Yeah.
And then he did like 50 more horrible movies just like that.
Yep.
Yeah, but you got to pay for the pool somehow.
That's true.
Right? He really Kevin Smith did.
Yeah. Snoogans. Don't worry, Dogma's coming back to theaters in 3 weeks.
There was nothing after Clerks and Dogma, right?
I have seen, I think, every single movie in his discography. Filmography, I suppose. And they are doing a theatrical re-release of Dogma in like 3 weeks. They finally got the rights back from the Weinstein.
I guess he's selling it for prison cash, or is that guy
for honey buns? Honey buns and ramen packs.
Yeah. He needs to go get his snoochie boochies.
I mean, though I wonder how many ramen packs selling the rights to your movie is. It's got to be at least 10,000 ramen packs, right?
I mean, he's like a ramen millionaire. Ramenaire.
Yeah,
ramenaire.
Would the commissary even fill the order?
I mean, I guess you'd have to have it as like a trust that gives you 5 ramen a week or something. Right. Otherwise, everyone in the yard is going to be like, okay, it's ramen time, boy.
How much does it cost?
Sure.
I don't know. I mean,
my volume is too low.
Prisoners going there.
All right. Well, gentlemen.
Yeah, I agree on Blue. Renfield was good, but not as good as
good. Gentlemen, I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye, Chris DeBona.
See ya.
Goodbye, Robert Roseboom.
Okay, bye.
That was episode 888, Geeks in Space, the Triple Ocho. I was Rob Commander Dakamalda, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.